This is a very serious allegation by a Pentagon insider who says that the Biden administration orchestrated the Nord Stream pipeline attack to isolate Germany. A former Pentagon official admitted that the Biden administration is responsible for the Nord Stream pipeline blasts and claims the attack was carried out to prevent Germany from exiting the war in Ukraine. Retired U.S. Army Colonel Douglas Macgregor made the explosive allegations during an appearance on Judging Freedom podcast. Macgregor says a process of elimination rules out Germany because they are dependent on Nord Stream for their gas energy security, and pointed out that it serves no benefit for Russia to have sabotaged its own infrastructure. Macgregor said, would the Russians destroy their own pipeline? 40% of Russian gross national product, or gross domestic product, consists of foreign currency that comes into the country to purchase natural gas, oil, coal, and so forth. So the Russians didn't do this. The notion that they did, I think, is absurd, he said. Summit News reports, referencing to Polish Minister of the European Parliament, Radoslaw Sikorski's infamous deleted tweet, in which he wrote, "Thank you, USA." Macgregor noted who else might be involved. Well, the Poles apparently seem to be very enthusiastic about it. However, citing reports that more than 500 kilograms of TNT had been detected in both explosions, the former Pentagon advisor suggested that only the United States and British Royal Navy had the capability to pull off this type of an event. Macgregor says, then you have to look at who are the state actors that have the capability to do this, and that means the Royal Navy, the U.S. Navy, Special Operations. And he says, I think that's pretty clear. We know that thousands of pounds of TNT were used because these pipelines are enormously robust. You have several inches of concrete around various metal alloys to move the natural gas. So it's not something that you could simply drop a grenade down at the end of a fishing line and disrupt. That means it takes a certain amount of sophistication, he said. Macgregor suggested that the motive behind the attack was to prevent Germany from bailing on the Ukraine war after Berlin began, quote, to give the impression that they were no longer going to go along with this proxy war in Ukraine. He said, I'm hesitant to say we know it must have been Washington. I can't say that because we just don't know, but it's very clear that we have foreclosed Berlin's options. Berlin was drifting away from this alliance. Chancellor Olaf Scholz of Germany said, I'm not sending any more equipment. I won't send any tanks. Now he's in a bind because the United States has simply robbed him of the option of bailing out. What's going to supply him gas and oil and coal and everything else if he bails out? Where does he turn now? And remember, the Germans, who are facing terrible consequences at home, refuse to restart nuclear power plants, the former official said. As we previously reported, the CIA warned Germany of potential attacks on gas pipelines in the Baltic Sea weeks before Nord Stream 1 and 2 were targeted. Both Joe Biden and Undersecretary of State of Political Affairs Victoria Nuland asserted that Nord Stream 2 would not be allowed to operate if Russia attacked Ukraine. And this is by Sean Addleton of Dubai News Punch. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.